What's up is down, what's left is right.
Called the ball analogy, right? So the ball analogy is that in talking, one person is throwing a ball at the other person, like a tennis ball serving, a machine that's serving tennis balls. There's not going back and forth. The ball is not being hit back to the person who's talking. So the thrower doesn't really care if the catcher actually catches the ball, in other words, understands their point. They only care about throwing it, about getting that information out there as quickly as possible, or, whatever their intention is. In a communication situation, you're actually tossing the ball back and forth, right? The first person throws the ball to the other person. The second person might play with it for a second before they throw it back. They might communicate. You ask them a question and they might think for a minute and they might respond for a few minutes, as they're throwing it back to you. And then the first person, after they've caught the ball again, they throw the ball back, right? Maybe immediately, maybe after they've juggled it for a while. So this is really how a communication cycle happens, where you're each taking turns holding the ball, throwing the ball, catching the ball. And that's a lot more impactful and integrated and useful for really creating an understanding between people, to have that kind of back and forth. So when you're communicating with the other person, we want you to think about, am I holding on to that ball too long? Have I really given them a chance to play with the ball, to toss the ball back to me, to contribute in this conversation? Or am I just tossing a ball up against a wall and they're not really engaged at all?